When I first walked out of the theater, I thought Supergirl was just mediocre. It was nowhere near as good as James Gunn's Superman, but it wasn't really a flaming pile of trash either, but it was just there. There is one thing, though, that has stuck with me for the entire week since I've seen the film, and it's this line from Kara's mother. You don't have to be nice, but be good. It's an honest view of the world, because being nice is the surface level. It's holding the door open for someone walking behind you, or responding to a stranger's good morning as you walk by. But you can't always be nice. You can't nicely ask someone to stop cursing at you, or sneering at your entire existence, so you just have to be firm with them, even when it's terrifying. And Kara's mother knows it, and that's why she asks her to be good, because being good means to stick to your core values, to stand up for yourself, and others, even when no one else will. But instead, Kara is something more. She's kind. Kindness is harder to achieve. It's choosing to understand a person. It's choosing to do something when you may not want to. Not for you, but for them. Kara's kindness isn't obvious by any means, and it completely contrasts the irresponsibility she primarily chooses. At the beginning of the movie, she's focused on herself, on the grief of never returning home, of losing her culture, her family, her friends, everything that she has ever known. And Kara's drowning herself in alcohol because she wants to be able to forget about everything, even if it's only for a few more hours. And the new planet that she's sent to, yeah, that does not allow for that, because first of all, it's not Krypton. It's loud, it's unknown, it's not home. And then second of all, Clark is here. And Clark is the embodiment of everything that she has lost. He's a Kryptonian who has only the barest of ideas of his past, and he's only just been able to scrounge up a few things about it, and even then, everything that he's got, it's not always correct. So he can't speak his mother tongue, and he doesn't know anything about the customs she grew up with. And so it becomes painfully obvious that if Kara wants anything about Krypton to survive, she has to pass down everything to Clark and the rest of the world. Otherwise, her culture will die with her. And on top of all of that, Clark is also everything that she's supposed to be. He's Superman. He's not only good, but he's incredibly kind and understanding. He checks in on her. He gives her space when she's grieving. He watches her dog for her, even if Krypto causes him a lot of trouble. And he uses his powers for good, even if he wasn't told to. Not in this universe, at least. So, of course, to escape responsibility for answering any of his questions, of remembering the memories of what she's lost, and of caring about Clark, she's traveling to the planets of the Red Sun to just be able to forget for a little while longer. But even then, while she's trying to escape, she doesn't allow herself to forgo everything. She still answers Clark's calls, eventually, and assures him that she's alive, and by her standards, she is completely fine. While she doesn't volunteer for Ruthie's death mission, when the patrons of the bar rob her, she does stand up for Ruthie. And even then, before the story began, she obeyed her father's wishes and got into the pod with Krypto to continue her family's wishes for her to survive and spare him from having to know that she will die, even though she wants nothing more than stay forever with him. Kara Zor-El is kind, but then Krypto is sent to the brink of death by Creme of the Yellow Hills, and Ruthie, seeing a new potential ally, continuously finds and attaches herself to her. And suddenly, being kind isn't enough. Kara now has to face responsibility with Ruthie, because undoubtedly, if she lets her go off on this whole Inigo Montoya-style quest of vengeance, she's going to die. And it's a great setup. We have clear faults in our protagonists, an obvious path for growth for both of them, and us as the viewers know that the vengeance that Ruthie is seeking isn't the answer, and that Supergirl has to be the better person. And especially if you've read the Woman of Tomorrow comics, which the movie is supposed to be an adaptation of, but that's a different topic entirely. I myself haven't been able to read the comics. Comic books are a very expensive hobby, and my art supplies, they're quite expensive enough. But all in all, we already know what's supposed to happen. Except then we get the entire middle half of the movie, where growth is supposed to take place, and scenes are supposed to guide us to where the ending arcs are going, and we sort of get nothing. They don't explicitly clue us into Kara's thoughts on responsibility for Ruthie. We never see Kara deciding Ruthie shouldn't kill Krem, or contemplating murdering Krem for Ruthie to spare her from that kind of darkness. She just does it. And that kills the movie for me, because yeah, the cinematography, the score, the acting, it's great. I have no complaints about it, but the story half of what we're here for isn't working. We're missing something entirely.
Hey, you remember those, Savage Starlight comic books that you're into?
Yeah?
Tommy and I found some when we were moving through that school the other day.
Did you like them?
Well, you know what? Not really my cup of tea, but... Dr. Daniela Starr, I mean, she's pretty...
She's a savage.
Well, what she does to Captain Ryan in that death match... Whew.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely deserved it, but...
That was a nice twist how they escaped.
You're funny.
If you've never heard of The Last of Us, it's at core a game about a father and a daughter. Their relationship starts off rocky. Neither of them are really wanting to travel together, but then it morphs into what we see as something special and caring, a true father-daughter relationship. And the scene where Joel is taking interest in Ellie's comics and what she loves to do, her hobbies, is so rewarding as a player and a viewer, because The Last of Us has been building up their relationship from the moment they've met. They've constantly had to rely on one another. Ellie fits through the tight spaces that Joel can't. She opens locked doors for him and knocks down ladders, and she makes jokes and levity of their situations. While Joel gives Ellie boosts up to platforms that she can't reach, he literally swims her across areas because she has no idea how to swim. He listens to her jokes, starts collecting these comics that she really likes, and really, it's special because even amid the apocalyptic world that they're fighting through, the main focus is them. And it's entirely believable that they have their own stories and adventures outside of us once we close the game. We don't have to see all of them to know that these actions and small bits of dialogue shape their relationship, and that believability is something Supergirl lacks. There's a scene where Kara is telling Ruthie about her Kryptonian heritage and Krypton's death, and at the end she tells Ruthie to rest while she figures out why one of their meetings has been delayed. It's a compelling scene, it's beautifully shot, it's immersive, but those minuscule 5 seconds where Kara tells Ruthie to rest is what interests me. Because Kara is taking responsibility for herself and for Ruthie. She's acting like the adult, while Ruthie gets to be the child she should be and rest. But Ruthie isn't a typical child now. She's traumatized and scared and angry, and Kara doesn't realize it, but I think she's confirmed some of Ruthie's worst fears in those moments. Kara hasn't moved through her grief, and it's been years already, and so if she can't, and look how powerful Kara is, what hope then could Ruthie have for defeating grief? It's a terrifying thought, and one that I think everyone can relate to. We all lose someone, or something, in this world, and it can absolutely take decades to come to peace with that. They don't show Ruthie's reaction to this idea, but she clearly has thoughts on it, because she does ask Kara how long it took for her to move on. And it's here that I think Ruthie becomes terribly certain that if she successfully kills Krem, if she gives herself the kind of closure that Kara doesn't have, then maybe, just maybe, she'll be able to move on. And it's that childlike simplicity, that 1 + 1 = 2, and everything can be fixed, that I wanted to see. Because Ruthie is ultimately just a little girl. And we don't need a big scene showing Ruthie walking through this step by step. We just need something small. Like leaving the camera on her for just a few seconds longer, showing her roll over and look at her father's sword. This scared look in her eyes, fading into determination. She can lay her hand on its hilt for comfort and then fall asleep holding it, signifying her choice of vengeance. And at the same time, the Krypton scene could have done a number to Kara too. I get the feeling that she doesn't really talk about her planet's destruction often. I mean, she keeps Clark at arm's length, she doesn't really have friends on Earth, she travels so often we don't see any relationships here in space either, so it's entirely possible that this is the first time Kara's recounted what's happened. And saying what happened to you out loud is powerful. It's reasserting it's real, and it brings back the emotions, hope, fear, anger, everything that she's been keeping away with alcohol. And then maybe it's here that should become obvious to us as viewers that Kara will not allow Ruthie to kill Krem. And as Kara walks downstairs, she murmurs to herself, "She won't be like me," or something along those lines, because we've already established that Kara thinks of herself as tainted by darkness, of never going back to who she was before. And this sets up our characters to be against one another, with the entire city fights being a metaphor for Ruthie and Kara's goals clashing as they keep getting in one another's way. And then the fallout of the battle, where Ruthie explodes on Kara, becomes expected, and it's satisfying. It acknowledges their differences, and of Kara's growth, and of Ruthie's continued descent. At its core, this movie is really about grief and moving on. I mean, I can see it from both of their views, because sometimes it does take decades to get over who you've lost, the potential of what could have been, and sometimes you just desperately want to forget. And to Ruthie's point, horrible things happen to people, to us, and pretending that they didn't happen, or giving up trying to make them understand, or acknowledging the damage that they've done to you is exhausting and it's heartbreaking. And because sometimes you just want them to know that they hurt you, they were wrong, and you didn't deserve it. But closure isn't given through other people, because if it was, then everything and everyone that's wronged you, you'd constantly be stuck thinking about it, day in and day out, because they haven't consciously made the decision to end whatever has made you hurt, or the accident that ended up hurting you. They haven't acknowledged those feelings, that consequence. And it'd be impossible to move through life if you had to receive acknowledgement from every person to move on. You have to give closure to yourself. You have to let go of the anger and the hurt, not forget, but let go. And it's something that both Kara and Ruthie need to do, with alcohol and all-consuming vengeance, and they do, to a degree. Kara stops partying at Red Sun Planets, and she does return to Earth to give Living another real chance. She faces Clark and assures him that she's not going to go anywhere, and that subsequently she's going to give them a chance to get to know one another. While Ruthie continues to make a new future with the last of her family, and to honor her family, she decides that she's going to continue making the swords that her father used to. And so that's what we end with. It's a movie that I think has a lot to say, but it doesn't clearly say it. It has the makings for all the emotional beats, the scenes that show the culmination of the growth, but none of the subtle, small growing moments that we need to make it believable. Supergirl is not a bad movie by any means. I mean, I actually really enjoyed watching it in theaters, and it was honestly super refreshing for me to see a superheroine who can have both beautiful and ugly moments, because Kara isn't nice, but she's good. She's kind, and she's learning. Oh, hey, you're still here. Yeah, well, thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video. My name is Sploop Talks, but you can call me Sploop, and this is the first time I've ever done a commentary video. So if you guys have any suggestions on how to fix anything, like maybe the audio is too loud, music's too quiet, I have no idea. I mean, I listened to it and tailored it to my tastes, but maybe my tastes are horrible. So if it is, please let me know, and I'll go ahead and try and fix things for the next video. Alright, thank you guys so much. See you later.